Good morning, welcome to Morning Tarot. I'm a little bit later than usual doing this morning, like half an hour later. Normally I'd be uploading it now, so I'm just hoping I can get through these 3 cards and get it uploaded and stuff before I go to work. So if I don't get it uploaded before I go to work, it will be kind of Morning Tarot in the afternoon because I'll upload it at lunchtime. So anyhow, better crack on. So yesterday we looked at the Page and the Knight of Swords. Oh dear, that's very blurry today. So today it's going to be the King, the Queen and the Ace of Swords, and that will complete the suit of swords. So the King of Swords is a guy who has a lot in common with the Page and the Knight. And in fact, you find the Page, Knight, King and Queen of all the different suits will have character traits in common. They will be presenting different aspects of that character trait and different sort of steps along the evolution of those character traits. So this guy, like the Knight and the Page, is very kind of mental energy, stronger focus. He has the same sort of qualities of being very logical, a very organised mind, of being a good friend, a bad enemy, of being able to kind of handle a lot of concepts and a lot of ideas, of being someone who's probably very charismatic, who has an easy influence over people. And this guy as well is someone who very much has authority. He's got a natural inner sense of authority that sort of radiates out because he's very much a king. He's also a card that we would associate with kind of character traits that we consider to be traditionally masculine. So he's sitting here on like a big stone throne, very strong seat, kind of a fairly grim looking face. You know, he's very much like a man in that respect. This guy is probably not the most jovial, fun, jolly character. He is quite a stern personality, a stern person, and he is somebody that you probably don't want to cross. When we looked at the Knight, we saw this kind of character traits in somebody who goes rushing in, who goes charging in, who wants to be a hero and really kind of steams ahead in situations before they think. When we get to the King of Swords, those character traits have been more tempered, they've been evened out, and so you're looking at somebody who, rather than rushing in and steaming in and kind of leading the charge, the King of Swords is very much a character who will sit, consider, think and make a strong mental decision. He's probably fairly calm, excuse me, very logical, can be and can appear to be quite cold, but also somebody that you could bring problems to, who can very easily sort through different aspects of a situation and see and zone in on the solution or the problem. And so he's somebody who very much can dispense wisdom and can help to sort out disputes and conflicts. And he's also very much a leader. He's somebody who can sort of unite people. He's a strong leader. But he could do with lightening up just a fraction from time to time. You'll see that he's only got 2 birds here, so these kind of mental thoughts and energy that started swirling everywhere in the Page and then were more dramatic and focused with the Knight have now become 2, more sort of clear, more level, which means that this guy has the ability to take these wide... What's the problem with my voice today? Excuse me, let's have a sip of coffee. That's better. Take these kind of wider issues and sort through and sort through and sort through and be more clear in mind and more clear in focus. He is holding his sword, kind of fairly strong. It's pointed slightly to one side. The sword often can represent the dispensing of justice, and this is somebody who likes to dispense justice and likes to dispense his or her opinion. However, it does have a tendency to be very much left-brained, so it's going to be an opinion based very much on logic and on thought. His crown, though you can't see it too well because it's kind of fuzzy, but you can actually see in the background on the throne here, has butterflies on them. Now, these butterflies are not very well developed. It's kind of like the suggestion of butterflies. I mean, the crown sits around the head, around the area that we think of as this kind of mental energy. And so this is somebody who probably doesn't like change very much, or it would take quite a long time to persuade this person to do something differently or do something in a different way, and it would take an awful lot to persuade him to change his point of view and to change his opinion, because this guy probably thinks most of the time that he is right, and he often might well be. And the butterflies are actually a symbol of transformation and transforming thought, transforming emotion, transforming situations, transforming personality and character. And though, you know, he's able to transform, he does have the butterflies around him, it's not very easy for him to make those changes, and perhaps it's not very easy for this kind of person to see another person's point of view. There's so much to say about these, and I'm trying to do it quickly, and now I can't remember what I said in the first place, and if I've just missed out something major. Hopefully, if people do video responses, you can fill in the blanks. Okay. Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords, like the King of Swords and like all the other swords, is this card of mental energy. It's a card of thought, and she is also, like the King of Swords, somebody who is very logical, very rational, very reasoning. What differs with the Queen of Swords to the King of Swords is that where the King of Swords is more in an aspect of kind of dispensing justice, of making tough decisions, and that kind of thing, the Queen of Swords is more focused on this idea of transformation through difficult times, transformation through difficult decisions, and transformation through painful processes. It's her crown, as you can see quite clearly actually this time, it's focusing a bit better on her, is made of completed butterflies. She is somebody who probably has been through or is going through transformations. Now, there's an air about the Queen of Swords that suggests that she's not necessarily the happiest of persons, of people all the time. You know, she does look a little bit grim, and she is facing away from the camera, she's looking away. And if you look around her wrists, you can see that there's the remnants of what look like almost like tethers or chains. This is somebody who is broken free of something. Through breaking free from something and coming through something that's probably been quite a difficult situation, she has been able to transform. So with the King of Swords, who finds it a little bit more difficult to change and to transform, the Queen of Swords is representing somebody who actually has been through or is going through a process of transformation and coming out the other side. So this is very much a mental strength that is concerned with going through change and through transformation. And so even though there is an air of slight sort of loneliness or sadness sometimes about the Queen of Swords, ultimately this is a card about freedom. It's about breaking free, it's about personal freedom, about going through that process of kind of like going into the cocoon, doing your shadow work, coming out of the chrysalis and really blossoming. And even though that can be a painful process and it can involve a lot of loss, and there is sometimes an idea of loss of some sort around this card, it's worth it, because that's true freedom. As you can see, the Queen is the card that has just the single bird up there, because she is very clear of mind. The clouds are lower down, because she has been through transformation and change and come up the other side of it still strong mentally and emotionally in herself. She has a clarity of mind and a clarity of vision, which enables her to be more single-minded, or have a kind of a more of a unity in her own head. She's not scattered, and her sword is straight up, because she does see to the heart of matters and she sees to the truth of situations. So if she is called on to dispense justice, then she will do so. Her cloak here, her robe, looks actually quite a lot like water. That's bringing a sort of a water feeling into the cards. That's through emotion, and this can often mean that she has gone through transformation that is related to emotional situations and something that's, you know, been emotionally quite perhaps difficult or painful for her. There's a real kind of sense of freedom and strength about this card, and she's a wonderful woman, I think. Finally, today and for the swords, the Ace of Swords. Now, the Aces, as everyone knows, are very special cards. They're extremely lucky cards, extremely powerful cards. They're kind of like the pinnacle, if you will, of their specific suit, which is why I've done the Ace last instead of doing the Ace first. Because the Ace of Swords, in fact all the Aces, in a lot of ways tie together all the different aspects that you've seen through the different stories in the cards in that particular suit. So when you're looking at the Ace of Swords, you're looking very much at a card of victory. When there's the crown, it's covered in the laurels. It's some kind of a genuine, a real victory, a victory process somebody has won through. It can be a victory to do with justice, because justice is a theme in this. It can be a mental victory, but it can be any kind of victory, and it's usually something where you're looking at someone who has come through something or has come out on top of the situation and has whatever kind of victory they have. It's something that they can take real pride in. It's something that has probably been personally quite difficult for them, or they've had to face different sort of personal struggles. But because of that, the victory means all the more. You know, this is a very much an empowering card. This is a card of supreme, like, personal empowerment. You know, it's holding the sword, and I've heard the aces in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck described as kind of gifts from the gods. You know, these hands come out of nowhere. These are things that you haven't necessarily followed a huge, like, long process of steps and trying. This is something that you have merited and deserves, that is kind of being granted to you almost from a higher perspective, from a higher level. There's a lot of masculine energy about this. I mean, you know, it's a fairly phallic symbol in a lot of ways, the sword, and so it does have that sort of masculine energy to it as well. So this kind of victory, this success, this gift probably comes alongside a situation where you have been looking at a lot of strong energy, strong characters, strong personalities. People who are represented by the swords or have a lot of swords in their spreads do tend to be, I think, very strong characters, very strong personalities. And even though you might have to work through a lot of kind of shadow stuff yourself, if you're dealing with a lot of swords in a spread, you come out stronger and stronger and stronger through that, and that's where this theme of transformation comes through. And when you have made transformation and you've conquered, then you get true victory, and this is a card of true victory. It's extremely lucky. I'd love video responses to this or any of the videos. This is video 5 now in the sword series, and if you want to watch the others, or there's any you've missed, I know they don't always come from news feeds, and because I have done it every day, it's a bit of an overkill to watch them every single day. I know. I've put a playlist on my main page, so you can just click into that and you can watch through, and I've listed in a little description which cards I'm covering. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this. I might be doing a little kind of review video tomorrow, perhaps with the swords, and then next week I'm going to carry on with one of the other suits, because I love doing this in the morning. It's like really fun for me. It sort of peps me up and gives me energy for the day. So I will see you soon, and take care. Bye.